This is a graph of greenhouse gases that make up the greenhouse effect. That one you would think from the propaganda would be carbon dioxide. It is water vapor and clouds. I think we ought to ban water vapor and clouds. It's the only way to save the frickin' world, right? Every time we see a cloud, they ought to add VAT. I think it's the only bloody way. And this is carbon dioxide. Not only that, the grey stuff is natural, only the green slither is coming from human activity. And we're supposed to believe it's affecting the weather. It's the bloody sun. It's the bloody sun. When the sun is in an active phase, it gets warmer. When it's in a non-active phase, it gets cooler, which is why over the last 10, 11 years, when the sun's been in a non-active phase, it's got cooler year on year. And one of these groups in this network with Brzezinski's Trilateral Commission is the Club of Rome. It was created in the 60s to orchestrate the use of the environment to push the agenda. Aurelio Pecci, the founder of the Club of Rome, quoted it in their own publication in 1991. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill. And they've played it out ever since through the Church of Climatology, which is just a cult. And here's the high priest. And we have this guy, Nick Clegg, who actually calls people that challenge the global warming climate change official story as climate change deniers. Because the Church of Climatology says that if you don't accept its nonsense, you are a blasphemer! And they equate you with Holocaust deniers. That's what that line is supposed to do. And we're still pushing along. We've had Climate Gate, we've had Glacier Gate, we've had Amazon Gate, we've had Polar Bear Gate, Rising Sea Levels Gate, where all these things that were supposed to be happening have found to be not happening and have been lied about and manufactured. And we've even had Cowgate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you glad tidings and great news. These clowns have now admitted that bovine flatulence is not a threat to human existence as we know it. I can't tell you how happy I am. BBC, through gritted teeth, has had to admit on its website, but not on its television station, that temperatures have been falling. And yet, no matter, the Green Team goes in, Gore's team is taken on by Obama. They go around programming children about fear of the future, the Green Police to impose checks on your houses without your permission, and just to show it's a scam, there we go. How's that? Good stuff. Again, I keep coming back to this, the suppression vibrationally of this energy field and the human energy field. The reason they're stopping the manufacturing of light bulbs and the selling of light bulbs as we've known them up to this point, and they're replacing them with these things which are full of mercury and an environmental bloody disaster, is because they give off a certain vibration that affects the human energy field. This is why many people around the world get ill, physically ill, when they live with these light bulbs. It's all a scam. Very quickly to finish, political correctness. This is not about protecting minorities. It's about stopping people speaking their truth and having freedom of speech. That's what it's about. It's about creating what Orwell called newspeak, where the language replaces old speak, words that have meaning and detail and you can express yourself, with newspeak, which actually says nothing, has no ability to express detail. Because of the way it works. The only language in the world whose vocabulary gets smaller every year, Orwell said. And as he pointed out quite rightly, on the conscious level, we think in words. And so the more you reduce the words, and all this tech stuff, you are, and all this stuff, and the way we're changing the language and reducing it dramatically, is taking out over a period, the ability to even think in detail. As one person said, how can you talk about freedom and how we must have freedom if there's no word left that really means freedom. And in 1984, of course, Newspeak didn't have a word meaning freedom. This is what political correctness is about, shutting people up so no one can say anything. You mustn't upset anybody. Well, it upsets me. You've upset me by saying I can't upset anybody. If I can't upset anybody, I can't say anything. It don't matter what you bloody say, you'll upset somebody. And then we have health and safety. Again, it's to create a situation where people can't move. I went into a Pizza Hut on the Isle of Wight. I'm not proud of it, I was hungry. And I asked for a cup of coffee. And they said they couldn't make me a cup of coffee because the coffee machine was broken. I said, can't you, true story, I said, can't you put the kettle on? They said, no, we can't use a kettle because of health and safety. It's a bloody cafe. Do not hold the wrong end of a chainsaw. Oh, thanks for that, mate. I might have made a mistake there. And what all this is brilliantly portrayed here by Neil Haig. All these things, taxation, you can't do this, you can't do that, don't say that, health and safety, political correctness, oh, watch what you're thinking, oh, watch what you say, oh my God, is to tie us like flies in the spider's web so we can't move. We've got people worrying now about, is me wheelie bin out on the wrong day? Is it a few inches too near the curb? And you know something, and this is important. These people are taking the piss, and I'll tell you why. They are throwing this crap at us, and if they don't meet significant resistance, they go, okay, we'll throw even more crap. I'll get into this in the last section, but we need to draw a bloody line here. Not only say here and no bloody further, but we're going here and drawing it. Because otherwise they'll just keep doing it. And this is the key to all of this that I'm talking about. It is a mind game. It has to be. It has to be, because from mind comes everything. This massive stop, go here, don't do this, you can't do that, all this stuff. More and more fine detail of our lives being dictated. It's to turn us into a version of this. You put a mouse in a laboratory maze and you put shock equipment down different channels. When it goes down those channels, it gets a shock, it comes back. It might go down another time, it'll get a shock and come back. After a while, not long, you can take that shock equipment away, that mouse will never go down there again because you've changed its behavior patterns. And what they're doing is throwing all this stuff at us, giving us punishments for doing this, punishments for doing that, punishments for doing this, but you're okay as long as you do this. And that channel of it's okay if you do this is getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And what they want to do is to bombard us and batter us into acquiescence, so we become subservient totally to the system. Never challenge it. Just stay in this narrow band of robotic computer terminal perception. To turn this into this. A bar-coded computer terminal, unquestioning, acquiescent robot. And they've done it before in smaller groups. This is China. This is waiting for work in the factory in China. And China is in so many ways a blueprint of the global society they want. 1.5 billion people in China. They're controlled by a relative handful because the 1.5 billion are acquiescent, and therefore they cannot use their numbers to overturn the dictatorship of the few, because they're programmed not to. The rabbit hole goes very deep, even deeper than I've got to now. The journey continues. But it's to control perception and get us to believe we have no power. We bloody do. to get us to believe that we should just follow the one in front because that's what everyone else does. Like bloody hell we will. And in 10 minutes I'll come back and let's look at what we can do. Thank you very much. Thank you.